Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Hmm, delicious. Today is Monday, March 20th. I believe it's the spring equinox. I meant to check before I started. It is the spring equinox. Happy equinox. Uh, it's the exact time is 3:24 p.m. here on Mountain Time. We have a snowy day today, but we have robins. We have robins everywhere. So this is a funny thing about Santa Fe that I never knew until I lived here. But the robins come through in these vast flocks, and a lot of times they overwinter here. And right now they're in our backyard, and I posted a video reel so that you could hear the sound of them. It's these masses of robins all singing, and it's snowy, and there's red cranberries against the snow, and everything is sort of like melting. Apparently, we got like over 8 inches. Like last time I saw it's 8.4 inches, and we got more snow after that, but it kept melting. So it's snowy again today, but it's this delightful Rocky Mountain springtime snow. So um, really fun to feel the earth waking up again. So yeah, happy equinox. I feel like it's that time of balance too. It's a good time to set something into motion. I'm feeling a resurgence of creativity today. I did not do a lot over the weekend, so yeah, I really burned out. I knew it was a risk. It was such a risk, but it was worth trying, right? Uh, so let's see. On Friday, Friday I got 0 words. I don't know why I'm even looking. I did like 200 on Wednesday, 300 on Thursday, and then Friday I got nothing. Big fat goose egg. I tried for a couple of hours, nothing doing. I ended up taking the rest of the day off. I took the weekend off. Um, I finished watching Sandman. That was interesting to watch. I really, really loved the beginning of Sandman. I didn't love getting into the whole serial killer convention thing. That felt like a tangent. But I know that this is like how graphic novels work, right? That they sort of slide off into these other stories. Um, I do love the idea of dream manifesting. I've got several ideas this morning. I decided to pause and write them down. I did have a couple of different ideas. Oh, I need to write this one down too. Sorry. At any rate, it's like how do you refill the well is one of those questions that we ask, especially when you've taking it down quite a ways. Uh, and I think there's different ways of doing that. Watching stuff that's stimulating. After I finished watching Sandman, I went and watched the first episode of Good Omens. Did a rewatch, and I might watch that whole series again. I might watch Bridgerton too. But I think anything that makes you excited, that gives you that feeling of the energy springing up within, uh, anything that makes the ideas pop into your head. Something that newbie writers ask a lot is, where do you get your ideas? And and I'm gonna say it's mainly newbie because after a while you do start to get the ideas, so many ideas that it's like you've turned on the spigot and you can't turn it off. So interestingly enough, obviously Neil Gaiman, who originally wrote Sandman, uh, and is obviously a writer, knows this because the final episode of season 1 of Sandman has, yeah, it was the final episode, uh, has a story about a writer who's, why is this such a trope? It's such a fucking trope. And I don't know, I feel like it's always male writers too that like do this trope. But it's like they have the enormously successful first book and then they can't write the second book. Uh, the thing is, or the second book is a failure. Um, yeah, it happens. It happens to people. Um, it feels like a very boy trope to me. Is that unfair? As you boys out there, tell me, uh, males, guys, let me know. But it just seems to, maybe it has something to do with particular male psyche herd bull kind of things. Like I had a chance to be a contender and now I'm not. I don't know. Uh, but anyway, I diverge. The point of that particular story, and it is an interesting story because, and I can't talk about it without spoiling some, so if you want to know nothing, tap out, but it's not like major plot spoilers or anything. But basically what this writer does is he captures a muse, he captures Calliope and keeps her prisoner and rapes her in order to get inspiration to write his books, which is a really interesting idea. And when the Sandman, King of Dreams, Morpheus, or Neros, shows up to um, to save her, to help, what he does is he torments this writer with ideas, with having so many ideas that he can't write them all. Which, God love Neil, because that's the nightmare, right? And so at one point, and this is slightly spoilery, so close your ears for 30 seconds if you don't want to know. But he has so many ideas that he actually wears his fingers down and breaks them, writing in blood on the wall. It's gruesome. So anyway, my point, and I did have one, is accessing those ideas, having those ideas flow is a sign of that your creativity's in the right place. Uh, and it's a sign that you're filling the well correctly. Uh, I just know that I'm in a better place, physically, emotionally, what have you, when creatively, maybe, when those ideas pop into my head. And so, like watching Good Omens, I made some notes afterwards. I'm going to write those down. I got ideas from watching Sandman. I had an image pop into my head this morning. Uh, a lot of people ask me where my stories start, and I'll usually shorthand by saying character because that's absolutely true. I mean, I always start with like a character in a situation, but sort of more primordial than that is I will have an image. I will have an image and a feeling. And so this morning, uh, I had an image of, I'm trying to decide if I should tell you. I feel like I shouldn't because I do think there is something about if you tell people too soon, it loses the charge. It's just like like I talk about shaken baby syndrome. This is even before that. Oh, I should not shorthand that. As far as books are concerned, writing stories. If you show stuff to other people too soon in the creative process, they can harm your infant idea. Even before that, if you discuss ideas with people um, before, I don't know, it has to like get a harder shell or something. New ideas come with this big charge of energy to them, with this creative thing of like that might have enough juice to become a story or enough juice to be a whole novel or a whole series. And I've talked about this some, but I always feel like it bears repeating. I really love John Scalzi's method, and other people have talked about it too, that when you get an idea, it's not just getting ideas, it's knowing which are the good ideas, right? And when you get that idea, you wait to see if it has legs, if it has enough juice to last. And so Scalzi talks about that he puts it away, and if he's still thinking about it the next day, he noodles it some more. If he's still thinking about it the next week, the next month, the next year, if he has the idea, if it persists for that long, then he knows it's a good idea. Um, Anne Patchett and Elizabeth Gilbert have kind of a different. It's mainly Elizabeth Gilbert. She talked about it in Big Magic that she thinks that the idea will come and it will wait for you for a little while, and if you don't uh, write it, if you don't use it, then it will go find someone else. Um, maybe, maybe there's some truth to that, but I think that maybe Scalzi's nurturing it, thinking about it, working on it is enough to tell it you do want it and you want that idea there and you're going to keep it. Um, I do this, I jot down little ideas about it, and then I see just a few lines, and then I see if it retains the juice. Some things don't. Sometimes I go back to these notes that I jotted down, and I'm like, why did I even think that was interesting? It lost the zing. It's just not there anymore. Um, so yeah, this idea that I had this morning, I'm going to try to do this without telling you specifics so it won't lose its juice. But it was an image of a woman in a particular place. I could see the scene around her. Um, and she is performing this action that has huge emotional import. And there's a man there. Um, so, yeah, that's my dancing around it. But it's this long fraught moment. And she makes a choice then. Um, And so I jotted that piece down. And now I'm wondering if it's going to tie into these other pieces. Now, see, the problem is that these ideas have nothing to do with the book I'm currently writing, Rogue Familiar, which has to get finished. Um, it also has nothing to do with the other book that I put together to go on submission. The Amethyst Run is its current title. And it's something that we all wrestle with, right? It's like, well, if you get the new shiny idea, how much attention do you give it, especially if you're supposed to be working on something else? And the thing is if you don't exert self-discipline on yourself as a creator and set aside the new shiny in whatever way you need to do it, then you will never finish anything. And this happens. There are lots of writers out there with 27 first chapters. And it's because getting the ideas is shiny and fun. Seeing it all the way through to the end is difficult. Yeah. So total aside, I think this is funny. If you're on video, you're going to be able to see that I have some silver at my temples now. It's it's kind of dramatic and fun. What do you think? This is because very prosaic details of my life. My hairstylist, because this is his color, not mine, he had a detached retina at the end of February and is not able to work for a month. And this happened like a week before my next color appointment, and he was very sad. So I don't know if I have to. My next appointment is April 18th, so I don't know if I'm just going to do a full skip all the way to April 18th or if he'll call me sooner. But until then, we are finding out a great deal about exactly how much silver I have in my hair. I kind of like the wings at the temples. Dramatic. All right. Anyway, back to creativity and ideas. It's a real conundrum how you figure out how to hold on to those ideas. Like in Elizabeth Gilbert's perspective, you cannot hold on to them. They will decide if they want to leave, if they're not loved enough. I have one friend who she has to outline the idea. So if she gets a book idea, which she does often, she has to outline the whole thing before it'll leave her alone, which means that she has, I don't know what she has now. I should ask her. But last time she mentioned it was something like 75 books she has outlined that she's may not ever get to write because getting to write the books is difficult, right? It's probably why some authors are attracted to the idea of AI, of having something that you can program with your style that then writes books for you. You finally get to all those stories. And because writing books is hard, it consumes a great deal of personal energy and creative energy. Uh, but other than income, which we like income, but yeah, I just don't see using AI to write your books for you. Um, it just seems like entirely beside the point. It's and I could see how we have gotten to this place because there are a fair number of people writing books for whom it is an exercise in producing widgets. Um, you know, I'm a writer because I wanted to tell stories. I don't want someone else to tell the stories for me. So anyway, uh, getting new ideas when you still have other things to complete. I know that some authors, and I've talked to a few of them. I had a long conversation with Nalini Singh about it because she will write on what she's supposed to write in the morning, and then in the afternoon, if she still has juice, she'll um, devote a little bit to a side project. I have tried doing this, and it does not work for me. Um, it just becomes a diversion. I think I'm better off just trying to concentrate wholly on the book that I'm writing and produce that in the best amount of time that I can, which has not been the case with Rogue Familiar. But that's going to change. I'm feeling good. I'm going to get this book finished in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, and then I don't know. Will I go on to the third book in the series? I might, just while my head's in it. Sort of see where Agent Sarah is at on Amethyst Run, if she has changes I want to make, or she wants to make. And then I kind of want to write this new idea, but I don't know if I should. I have something else, another else. For those of you who've been around for a long time, that science fantasy. Uh, Sarah wanted me to write that for her for this summer, for fall submission. We'll take it out again. So I don't know, but this is also where, when you're hybrid, the balance comes in, because I need to keep writing self-published stuff in order to keep up the income while we wait to see if Tread wants to buy any of these other books. I have a friend who I had drinks with the other day, and she doesn't understand why I still want to sell the Tread. We have very different approaches, but she also she's in a much more mainstream genre than I am, and she'd made 100,000 in the first 3 months of this year. I am not doing that well. If I were making that much, I probably would think the same. But I also have a different perspective in that, excuse me, I'm really not getting choked up about this, at least not metaphorically, literally. Yeah, that I do still find it useful to have books with traditional publishing. But that's because I'm not only in it to make money. One thing about Trad is they can help establish reputation. They can get you into certain places, so forth. So I'm going to get to work today. See if I can be a little more judicious and not tip myself over the edge. I hope that you all have a wonderful Monday. I hope that you are finding the balance, the equinox in your personal lives. Yeah, today is the balance point, and I think that is worth considering. Maybe close your eyes and think for a moment on the equinox, the balance, the change of the year. Hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all on Friday. You all take care. Bye-bye.